Let's talk some NFT talk. I'm really excited about, y'all know I get very excited about this whole NFT thing. Um, and I know for most of our listeners and our viewers, they maybe not still get it just because it's like, yo, I'm not an artist. I'm not, I don't draw. I don't do these graphics. I don't see how this can even benefit my brand or benefit my business in any kind of way. And then Gary Vee came along with his NFT drop. And we're going to talk about it because just listen or watch.
Friends is an ambitious NFT project around characters that have traits that I believe in so much that I want people to aspire to. They also happen to be a token to a conference that I'm gonna put on every single year called VCon, V Conference, a multi-day event that is gonna rival some of the greatest conferences in the world around entrepreneurship, marketing, ideas, creativity, competition, meeting new friends. It's a community. It will be my great honor to create an ecosystem around the access tokens that are a huge part of this project. Hangout time, group stuff, bowling, tennis, bubble hockey, video games, dinners, brunches, and then remind me, what, 555 gift codes?
Correct.
So let's get into this. I'm gonna start this one off because I'm very excited about this. Reason why I'm very excited about this is because this literally shows you that you can literally draw a dot and that could sell. Okay. My man drew not anything worth putting up my wall. Nothing. Not
Right.
putting up no dog, angel, any of the things that he drew, right? So he pretty much killed the whole you have to be an artist, even though maybe behind in the back of his mind he think he's a great doodler. I'm cool with that, whatever it is. But he's literally showing people it's not necessarily about the art part, it's about what you can do with the NFTs. He is literally saying, hey, with each one of these tokens, because they're considered tokens, you're going to have access for 3 years, right? And maybe I'm selling this, but I'm excited about it because you have access for 3 years to this event, right? So not only you have admission to a possibly dope event, maybe it'll suck, maybe it won't, I don't know, right? But then you have more access to him depending on which one you pick, right? You can get one-on-ones, you can get groups, you can get something mailed to you. So it's more of when you create these NFTs, what are you pairing it with, right? Are you in making what you're pairing it with what people want than necessarily the actual art or content, right? And I think that right there is what people are going to start to see and implement when it comes to these NFTs. And everything is about ownership, right? So it's clear as day is when you buy this, we can clearly see who bought it and who needs to get access. Because some people are still like, yo, I could screenshot that. I can, I could get a copy of it and it's the same thing. Well, now the way he built it is like, yeah, you'll have this different looking drawing, but you won't have access to the event. You won't have access to this virtual group. You won't have access to this mentorship, which is for anybody who is in the educational kind of branding, like consultants and speakers and, coaches and things like that, right? He literally did one, it's like a one of one where you still have to apply because it's I believe maybe a month or so. It's a mentoring program with just him and his team. And you have to apply to it before you can even buy it. So now that takes me in thinking and shout out to Kurt that I'm thinking of different things like, yo, you can drop courses, you could drop ebooks, you could drop exclusive mentorship programs. It's not necessarily about the art, it is about the access it provides for your community and for your audience. So I I like how he did that, and from an educational standpoint as well, how he is letting people know, and this is another important part, when there's a learning curve, when there's something new, how are you educating your audience on how to cop that, how to buy it, right? So with NFTs, of course, it is in the blockchain in which you have to buy crypto, right? And mainly on the Ethereum coin, right? So he, in between time of dropping this project, he is educating his audience on, here, you have to go buy a, you have to access a crypto wallet, right? So download this, put this on your browser or your phone, right? Take Apple Pay and buy some Ethereum, right? And this is going to allow you to get access to these VeeFriends. And if you do not have Ethereum in your MetaMask wallet, then you cannot have access to anything that I'm dropping. So let me continue to educate it. Let me put you in a community. He put it on Discord, which is pretty cool. And I want to learn more about that, right? I want to learn more about Discord. But he put it, everybody in a Discord, and did frequently asked questions, videos, continue to like pour into those who are trying to learn it and prepping the people to buy. Some people, whether it's a product or a service, just drop it and not really educate people at all. So, how he's showing this is like a true blueprint of not only from an NFT kind of world, but also how to release something in general. Are you allowing people to understand what exactly you're dropping and when it's coming out and how to purchase it and when to purchase it and things like that? Now, my question, because he did not drop on the time that he said. For those who follow Gary Vee or who is interested in this project, he was supposed to drop 5/5, right? And it didn't due to technical issues or whatever, and still hasn't to from the time that we're recording this, right? Now, I look at that in two ways. I look at that as you bit too much. What is that saying? The bit too much, then you can chew, some type of stuff.
Bit more than
whatever.
you can chew, yeah.
That one, that right there. You did too much. You created your own platform. You added too many things at the same time instead
Right.
of doing the little small things what people have been doing in small releases. He's releasing over 10,000 access tokens, right? On a whole brand new platform. You did too much, possibly. Or you are now delaying it and getting people more notified, like, yo, he didn't drop. What's happening? Now all eyes are on the project because you said you were going to drop and you didn't. So now we're interested in when are you actually going to drop and how it actually goes. So now you're bringing extra eyes into it. So there's two things, because I mean, my man did a whole press release. He went on CNBC, all these different news and media
Really?
situations, podcasts, all that stuff. He did a lot and didn't drop on time. And still there's no release time. So I'm like,
It's interesting.
is that intentional? Right? Because I wouldn't be mad if it's intentional. Because at the end of the day, he is a marketing genius. I'm not going to say he's not, right? I may not agree and fully follow the content as I used to, but I find this very interesting because just the whole project and the release, because it just breaks down different barriers that anybody can really join into this NFT community and not feel the pressure of having something super visual in play. What would you
Do
think?
you think, I want to actually ask you a question, and that's what I was thinking about this whole time is, do you think it waters down the artistry? Like it's something for the artist to, finally be compensated for their work, to be able to continue to make commission off of, great work that they've produced, as opposed to what's traditionally happening now. Like that's why I was excited. I know we spoke about it very early when it started to kind of hit the market, and we're like, man, that's so dope. It's gonna create like an equal space, and people are gonna finally be compensated for their work. So just in short, do you think him making this move waters down the industry because now it opens up scraps of paper to be put out on the space, instead of having, someone like Beebles who, put out stuff for a decade every single day before he cashed in his big check?
So, no, I don't. The reason why I say that is because the art world is just a part of the NFT situation. It is not it as a whole, right? So the art world took the most of it because that's all we saw, right? But that doesn't mean that the NFT world is only of digital art. We're seeing just like how he did, but other people also doing it as well, just maybe not on that wave. Events, creating an NFT that gives you access to an event. Shout out to Lupe Fiasco. Did I say that right? I don't know. I think I did.
You did. That's it.
Shout out to Lupe. I always question if I say that right. But shout out to Lupe because he did an NFT drop that then gave access to a virtual concert, right? That was done in Dame Studios. And so people are getting with that. Art music is starting to really go into that whole NFT world as well, like we've reported before, as far as, unreleased tracks or newly mixed tracks that if you get this NFT, you'll have access to it. And then I think it was King Leon that was like, if you buy this album, that is going to be on iTunes, but if you buy it as an NFT, you will forever have front row tickets. You see what I'm saying? So, yes, from what we've been introduced from the NFT world is the art, because visually it's stunning, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end all be all and it was only meant for artists. So I think that world is still going to kill it because there are platforms that is only dedicated to digital art in the NFT world. So it wouldn't even matter what else goes on to that, because the ones that are going to get highlighted is going to be the digital art. Now, as other people find out different ways, because literally with it being on the blockchain, there's a ledger that says you own this, you have this, right? That's going to open up the minds for other brands and, other influencers to be like, how can we take this into our own hands? I believe eBay was thinking about jumping in the game when it comes to the auctions, right? UFC was talking about jumping into the NFT world. We've already reported that multiple athletes have jumped into the NFT world. So I don't think it's watering it down. I think it was just the beginning of something that is going to be very dope, since this world is turning into more of a digital vibe.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think back to when he first spoke on it. I think there was an interview that you shared early on, where he was just kind of talking about, I'm really not trying to create any waves in the space right now. I'm going to kind of step aside and let the artists do their thing.
Yeah.
And I guess it's only a matter of time. Maybe that timeline is different for everybody, but that's just the thing that came to mind first. It's like, man, I wonder if it's going to shape the industry a little bit differently now that people are really going in there with business incentives or business approach, as opposed to continuing to let, the artist benefit as much as possible, at least for, a certain amount of time before it fully turns over. But that's the first thing that comes to mind. So I know there's one group of it. If you've thought about it, that's one thing that comes to mind. The other side of it too, of course, you can always see the light in everything, which is like, well, he just took something that's extremely complex and simplified it, at least for the thing that gets you through the door, which is the actual art itself.
Simplify.
Yeah, he's just like, here you go. Here's my artwork. Here's my submission. So it's going to be interesting because he's really, and one of the things that we've noticed, with a Gary Vee is that he always goes all in. He's not someone who's going to be like, let me see if maybe like he goes all in. And this is a commitment. So you see him, if he's saying he'll have access for 3 years, I think for a consumer, if you're considering investing into something like this, that should give you the safety of knowing, okay, this is at least going to be around for a minute. Like, it's not just going to be a one-time thing. This is a 3-year event. So like, I can really gain a lot of benefits from this. So I think that's a smart move, for anyone who's putting together offers. We've talked about buying behavior a lot and tied it back to the flight assessment. Just from what we've learned about people and how they buy and make decisions, there are some people who want safety and security. So when you give somebody that, that length of time, it's something that we've done with our programs too. We've extended it from being a 1 or 2 day event to up to 90 days access to say, hey, don't worry about having to get it or rush and learn everything in just a matter of time when you have all this, this amount of months with us to learn it. So I think it's a good move. I definitely think it makes sense. That part of it, at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And also it adds value because let's say you go to this conference, that thing still has value for the next 2 years. So let's say
resale.
you didn't even like the conference, but that's not available anywhere else. Like once the tokens are gone, they're gone. So you are one of the people that has this particular token that will give access for at least another 2 years.
Right.
So that has to be worth something to somebody. So I think that was very smart. And I think a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, okay, cool. Like even I was on Instagram Live and I was talking like, yo, Nicky and Moose are going to do an NFT. And if you have it, then you can be a guest on the show. Right?
Nice.
It's just like different ideas. Like it's really going to happen, people. So just wait on it. Hear me? But that's just some of the different ideas that not only from a status of Gary Vee, but podcasters can get into, speakers can get into, consultants can get into, where it's like you have this and then you could get on my platform, then you can do this, then you could do that. So I think it's pretty dope. I know I'm going to buy one because I'm more of the person that if I am speaking about it, I need to be all in on it to see in totality if this was a win or a flop. That's my whole thing. Like I can't be excited about it and then, yo, did you get it? Nah. What are you talking about? Why didn't you get it? Like I bought 2 NFTs already. So I'm not just reporting this to just be like, oh, she just looks and reads it. No. I'm in there. We
in
out
the
here.
space. Yeah.
We out here. I mean,